Pissing our pants yet?
Hello everybody, welcome back. This is another Walking Dead Season 7 vlog, and this is a countdown, well not really a countdown, but a predictions video for the next 2 episodes. I can't believe the first half of Season 7 is almost over. Ever since the brutal premiere, it's gone by quick. The other thing, this is kind of like a 2-part vlog because the title obviously insinuates something different, but I wanted to discuss the fact that the views for The Walking Dead are not exactly what everybody has been hoping they would be. Now, the premiere of the show did not break the records AMC was probably hoping for. I believe it was 17.49 million viewers. That was for No Sanctuary, the premiere for Season 5, and then I think it was like 17.29, so it was just for and this is for the Season 7 premiere I'm mentioning, but it was off by a little bit, but still, I mean, I'm sure the hope was that it would break these records, but it didn't break the records that I'm sure AMC was hoping for, as I've said, and as the episodes have gone on these past couple of weeks that I've been reacting to, I myself have seen on my channel that the views for my reactions aren't nearly as popular as they were for Season 6. I remember for Season 6, the reactions were there was a lot of attention surrounding those reaction vlogs. I would say there was a steady 20 to 30,000 people from episodes 1 to 8 of Season 6. People were showing up. I think my highest attended video ever is the Season 6 premiere at 200,000 views. Now, I was fully expecting the premiere of Season 7 to break that record, but it only got to 60,000. Now, I'm not here to talk about views, but my comparison is that just from my analytics of comparing this season's viewership reaction videos to last year's, I definitely think that people have trailed off the show just in general. What I mean by that is that we're in a slower part of the show, and the viewership numbers would definitely insinuate this. I guess 11 million people have dropped off the show since the premiere, and so the numbers that are being brought in each week are only representing around 5 or 6 million a week, keeping track of the show. Now, these are still incredible numbers, and they're still beating most, if not all, television network programming. So, in that regard, there's no reason for concern, but there's certainly a reason to consider why this drop-off is happening. And I'm probably going to narrow it down to a couple of things. Number one, I don't think people are very happy about losing 2 major characters. I say Glenn, definitely. I mean, maybe you could have got, if it was just Abraham who was killed, I think maybe people would have been upset, but they would have moved on. I think losing Glenn was a huge blow to the show, no pun intended. And the main reason I say this is because he's one of the original characters. He's been in the show since episode 2 of the entire show. So, or even actually screw that. Wait a minute, episode 1. No, he at the very end of the pilot episode, he talks to Rick over the radio for like 2 or 3 lines before the episode cuts out. So, Jesus, a character that has been with the cast since the pilot episode has left us 7 seasons later. But, I mean, 7 seasons into a show, you have to assume that some of these characters are going to get killed off. I mean, we've seen a lot of characters get killed off and a lot of original members. And I think with every major villain, some member of the original team dies. I think Andrea was the person that went when the governor was the villain, and she was the one who was killed in that scenario. And then the governor also came back for round 2 and put Herschel to rest. So yeah, there's villains have showed up and killed favorite characters before. I just think it was the brutal nature of it. Just the amount of gore and violence, just the fact that it was Daryl punching Negan, that it wasn't even just the randomness that was the reason Abraham was killed, but the fact that it was due in part to something else. And, just all of the favorites, even if your favorite character didn't get killed, all of the ones that are left, the ones that were on their knees in that clearing, are brought to their lowest point. And I don't think as an audience member, people like just feeling demoralized. I think, a lot of things nowadays are kind of demoralizing, especially with the whole political nature of things in the United States. I won't get into it, but I think people are definitely demoralized on some level, and I'm sure media and television is one way that people escape from that. And to have this, big tyrant walking around with a baseball bat, clocking people and stealing medicine and food and basically plundering Alexandria and our favorite characters that we've known for so long, bringing them to their knees. People they're not ready for that, and they don't like it, and they want to fucking, just separate themselves from it so they can get away from just how shitty things have got. And I don't think anything's improved. Nothing has improved since the premiere, because other than episode 2, which was the opposite end of the spectrum with Morgan and Carol in the Kingdom, where we had a very upbeat atmosphere, every other episode has really just been demoralizing. The Cell, when we first see the Sanctuary, it's Daryl being tortured. Service is Rick's community and everyone in Alexandria being threatened and having their stuff stolen. Even episode 5, you got the Saviors attacking the hilltop and Gregory giving Maggie problems. The last week's episode, Swear, was a different change of pace, but it still shows a degree of hopelessness on the part of the survivors, because this new group, the Oceanside, has noted that there's no hope because of the Saviors and what they've done. So there's still this kind of very demoralizing. And for my predictions for next week's and the week after episode, Negan is a big part of these episodes, and we get a bigger look at the Sanctuary. We have Carl and Jesus trying to infiltrate. There might be some hope. I think the introduction of Jesus and Carl stowing away and trying to get to the Sanctuary is I think our first attempt at revenge. And this is also seen from other characters. Rosita asking Eugene to make bullets. Michonne's obviously dealing with it in her own manner by, taking walks, killing zombies with her sword. From the previews, it looks like Rick and Aaron are scavenging. I'm not sure what community they'll come across. Maybe they'll come across the Kingdom, because eventually Rick will have to learn who's in the Kingdom, Ezekiel, and everything that Morgan did, basically, Morgan and Carol. So we're going to have to learn about them when the time comes to unite all the forces so we can jump into the big war segment that's coming up. Obviously that has to happen. So I think you're seeing glimmers of hope, and I'd obviously say to people who are in this type of scenario that I'm describing to not give up. I know that sounds weird to say, like, don't lose hope, but this is what the show does. It brings us down, but now we have to, I think, again, I said that we hit a climax with the Season 6 finale and the Season 7 premiere. Now we need to go on a downward climb here. We need to really get into our falling action. Like, the falling action is where we're at right now. We're building up our characters back to getting their confidence back, their self-esteem back, their guns back, their armies back, just recovering from what this villain has now introduced into the show. And it's going to take time. I know people are impatient on, the show only airs every week, and people want instant gratification, and there was a lot of instant gratification in Season 6. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Season 6, there was action, shit happening. And even all throughout Season 6, it was just a very active, plot-driven season where there was a lot of stuff going on, I must admit. But other than the two characters dying and the events of the premiere, Season 7 has been a bit low-key. I will admit that. But I was admittedly ready for it. And again, I think the reason I love seeing Negan as a character, people have noticed that I laugh at his jokes, and I dressed up as him. I have a cosplay guide on my channel for him. because he has such great one-liners. It sucks that he can't say the F word like he does in the comics, but he has great one-liners, and he keeps the show interesting. Like, I think he's the best villain for the show because he's a comedic villain, almost like the Joker. Like, he is to Rick what the Joker is to the Batman, basically, I would compare. And he's around for a while, and he has unique rules, and that he's looking for, people to pay up to him, and that he sees himself as some sort of savior king in the midst of this really shitty apocalypse. So, again, I think it's fair to give this show a chance and to see where it's leading up. And the show always delivers on its mid-season finales, whether it's a fucking cliffhanger like it was last year, or if something traumatic happens. If you recall, the mid-season finale of Season 6 was the cock tease of Carl getting his eyes shot out, and Sam and Ron and Jesse getting devoured, which I knew was going to happen, but it cut off right in the middle. And then Season 5's was, what was it? Oh, it was when Beth dies in the hospital in Atlanta, which was pretty traumatic. And then Season 4's was a huge one. That was the governor's attack on the prison. So that was a really, really huge climactic moment. And then even the Season 7 mid-season finale, or even the Season 3 mid-season finale, was the assault on Woodbury and Merle and Daryl seeing face to face in the midst of the threat of the governor. So, we have definitely seen great mid-season finales. I'd say Season 6's was the only cliffhanger one, but every finale-based thing in fucking Season 6 was a cliffhanger, whether it was the mid-season finale with the fake out for No Way Out, or the fake out first-person death that we got in the finale for Season 6. So, I'm hoping for something. Again, Negan is a big part of the next 2 episodes, as I've seen. A good section of it will happen in Alexandria, and I have a hunch that something will happen to Spencer, especially after we got a bit of that set up in episode 4 with him giving back talk to Rick. So we're in perfect position to have a really big blowout here. So let me know what you guys think in the comics. I just kind of wanted to give my explanation as to why some of these things are happening to the show in particular with the viewership. There's been numerous articles talking about how The Walking Dead's ratings have slipped since the premiere. And there's, people are trying to find an explanation for this. And again, I think that's it. Like, people are frustrated. The villain is so tyrannical. We're in a depressing part of the show. We've lost popular characters. And this is slower plot building stuff where we get to learn about various communities. I do think that the show needs to show different places in a more cohesive way. And I think the next week's episode, episode 7, will do this, it seems, because with all of these episodes we've seen so far, it only focuses on one thing. It's like just the kingdom, just the sanctuary, just the hilltop, just Alexandria, just the snow community, Oceanside. I think what Game of Thrones does well, if you were to compare it to another popular drama television show, is that Game of Thrones is able to show you different parts of the world and different main characters, and you're able to see all of them in one episode. You get pieces of their story here and there. And I think The Walking Dead is at that point where it needs to start doing that, because now The Walking Dead is now touting itself as that kind of show where there's multiple communities and multiple groups of people splintered in every different place. And I don't think people like, what's the concept? I think they call it a bottle episode, where everything is bottled up. Everything from one section is bottled up into one episode, and you get maybe too much of one aspect of things. You get this one point beaten over the head many times, and people get tired with it, and they're like, oh, next week then we get this. Think about it. We have not seen Morgan and Carol since episode 2. And now we're in episode 7. That's a long fucking time. So, we kind of just get left off with some of these characters and just, wait a little bit. I think balancing it would be smart. So we get some of these characters, and there's everyone has a bit of satisfaction when they watch the episode. So, all right, so that's about it for this vlog. Thank you guys for watching. Again, just post up what you think about it, and the viewership, and just some of the other things going on. And that'll basically be it for me. Season 7. Why do I keep saying Season 7? Episode 7 and Episode 8. Those are the last 2 reactions for this year for my channel. Then after that, I guess I'll do some more reaction vlogs, and I'll probably react to the mid-season second half trailer for season 7. And so that'll be the course that the channel's taking. And I hope you guys enjoy that direction. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys later.